In a small riverside town surrounded by whispering trees and the golden fields of wheat, so lived a boy named Ayaan, whose heart was as full of dreams as the sky was full of clouds. Every morning, he would wake to the soft hum of the river, that gentle, endless voice that sounded like it was telling stories to whoever would listen. The people of the town often sighed the river carried memories of laughter, of promises, of things long forgotten, but to Ayaan, it carried loneliness. His friends had all moved away. Sarah to a faraway city, where her father worked at a tall glass building, and below to another village, where his family had bought Asia. The lifer banks that once echoed with laughter and the thump of skipping stones were now quiet. Ayaan sat alone, drawing circles in the sand with a stick, feeling like the only sound left in the world was the ripple of water and the sigh of the wind. One rainy evening, when the clouds hung low and the smell of waters filled the air, Ayaan tore a page from his old notebook, a page full of doodles and the half-written dreams, and he folded it carefully. He folded one corner, then the next, pressing each line with a quiet precision as if he were folding his hopes into the fragile little paper boat. When it was done, he held it in his palms, small, and weightless, and he whispered, "Go wherever the wind takes you. Maybe you'll find my friends out there." Then he bent down and he placed it in the water. The rain tapped gently on his hair and his shoulders as he watched the paper boat drift away, spinning softly, disappearing into the mist. He stood so long after it vanished, listening to the river's endless hum, wondering if it could carry messages to faraway places. The next morning, when the sun spilled gold over the river, Ayaan ran to the same spot. The grass was still wet, and the air was cool. As he looked down at the rocks near the edge, something made him freeze. Sir, resting perfectly on the smooth stones, was his paper boat, dry, untouched, whole. He blinked. "No more way," he whispered. He picked it up gently. The folds were crisp, the corners still neat. Inside, in small pencil letters, were 3 words: "I heard you." For a moment, Ayaan just stared. The world seemed to hold its breath. Then he laughed nervously. "Okay, who's messing with me?" he called out, looking around. But there was no more one, just the rustle of trees and the murmur of the river. He turned the boat over and the offer in his hands. The writing looked shaky, childlike but not his. Somehow, it felt alive. That night, Ayaan couldn't sleep. The boat sat on his desk, glowing faintly under the moonlight. It almost looked like it was waiting for him to ask another question. So he did. The next morning, he wrote on the other side, "Who are you?" He placed it back in the river and he watched it float away once more. The day went by slowly, and though he tried to distract himself, he found himself glancing at the window again and again, wondering if the boat would return. And just before sunset, when the orange light touched the river's surface, he saw it again, the same boat, drifting calmly toward him, as if it had been waiting for the perfect moment to be found. This time, the message sighed, "Keep believing." From that day, something changed inside Ayaan. Every morning, he would fold the boat again, send it off with a new message, and every evening, it would return with a reply. "Where do you come from?" he wrote once. The answer, "From where dreams float." Another time he asked, "Why me?" The reply came, "Because you listened." It became their secret friendship, the boy and the boat that never sank. No one else knew. He hid it under his bed during the day, afraid someone might laugh or take it away. The boat seemed to grow brighter with each return, its paper wider, its messages warmer. Sometimes it even smelled faintly of rain, like it carried pieces of the world back to him. Days turned into weeks. Ayaan began to smile again. He talked to the river like it was his friend. His mother noticed the change, how he hummed while eating breakfast, how he ran to the river every evening, but when she asked what made him so happy, he only sighed. "It's a secret." One afternoon, as clouds gathered again over the horizon, Ayaan sat by the water, the paper boat beside him. The river looked restless, its surface trembling with the promise of a storm. He hesitated but still wrote another message. "What do you want me to do?" And he set it afloat. The sky darkened. Thunder rolled. He waited for the boat to disappear around the bend before running home as the first drops began to fall. That night, the storm hit. The river roared like a living beast, waves crashing against the banks. Ayaan watched from the window, his heart racing. "Please don't sink," he whispered. Lightning flashed. The next morning, the river was swollen and muddy, littered with broken branches and floating debris. Ayaan searched every corner, every lap, every patch of grass, but the boat was gone. He returned the next day, and the next, but still, nothing. The absence of the boat felt heavier than anything he'd ever known. He stopped humming, stopped drawing. The river that once seemed magical now looked empty and cool. He began to wonder if he had imagined it all, if the messages had just been his own lonely thoughts echoing back to him. Days turned into weeks. The paper boat had vanished, and with it, the small light that had warmed his heart. Then, one dawn, when the air was cool and still and the mist hung low over the river, something white caught his eye. At first, he thought it was just foam, but as the sun rose and the light touched the surface, he saw it clearly. It was the boat, the same one. Dry, right, perfect. It glided toward him like it had been gone only for a moment. His hands trembled as he lifted it from the water. Inside, in golden ink that shimmered in the light, were 3 new words. You already believe. Ayaan stood there for a long time, reading and rereading the words. Then he smiled, the kind of smile that comes from understanding something deeper than words. He realized the magic had never been in the boat. It was in the believing, in the quiet faith that something beautiful can return even when it's gone. After that day, the river seemed different, not louder or calmer, but more alive, like it was speaking to him in every ripple. Ayaan still folded paper boats, hundreds of them. Some sank, some floated away, but none of them mattered as much as the first one, the one that had taught him that faith itself keeps things afloat. When he turned 12, he wrote one final message on a new paper boat. Thank you. He placed it in the river and he did wait for it to come back. He knew it would find its way, just as it always had. Years passed, seasons changed. The small boy who had once waited by the river grew taller, his hair darker, his eyes full of quiet wisdom. Life moved on. School, friends, new adventures, but the memory of that first boat never faded. Sometimes, when the world felt too heavy, he'd return to the riverbank and he'd close his eyes, hearing the soft lapping of water and imagining that little voice whispering, keep believing. The river, in its own gentle way, had become a part of him, a living reminder that hope, once found, never truly leaves. One spring morning, years later, Ayaan walked again to that same river. This time, a little girl held his hand, his younger sister, Mariam. She was about 6, with bright eyes full of questions. Is this the river you always talk about? She asked, tugging at his sleeve. He smiled. Yes, this is where the stories live. He knelt beside her and he pulled out a small piece of paper from his pocket. Want to learn how to make a paper boat? Her eyes lit up. Together, they folded the page corner by corner just as he had done years ago. Now, he sighed softly, make a wish, and he let it sail. She whispered something he couldn't quite hear and he placed the boat gently in the water. It floated, spinning in tiny circles before drifting downstream. She clapped her hands. Do you think he'll come back? She asked. Ayaan looked at the horizon where the river curved into the distance, sunlight sparkling like gold dust on the water. Maybe, he sighed, smiling. Some things find their way back when you believe in them enough. They sat there in silence, watching the paper boat until it vanished. The air was warm, the sky clear, and for a moment, time seemed to slow. Ayaan closed his eyes and he let the sounds of the river wash over him, the gentle waves, the rustling leaves, the heartbeat of the world. In that sound, he could almost hear a whisper, faint but unmistakable. Dream big, sailor. He opened his eyes and he laughed softly. Maybe it was the wind, or maybe it was the river's way of saying hello again. Either way, he believed, years later, people in the town would still see paper boats floating down the river, sometimes on quiet mornings, sometimes under moonlight, and no one ever saw who sent them. Some said it was children playing, others said it was just the wind. But those who looked closely saw the boats never sank. They glided smoothly, untouched by water, carrying little words of kindness written inside. Messages like, you are not alone, keep going, you are loved. And every time someone found one, they smiled without knowing why, as if the river itself had whispered something just for them. Ayaan grew up, became a storyteller, and he traveled far beyond that little town. But no matter where he went, he carried that lesson within him, that hope, like paper, may seem fragile, but when folded with faith, it can float through any storm. He told the story of the paper boat to children everywhere, and each time, their eyes widened, their imagination sparking. Some believed it was just a tale, others thought it was magic. But Ayaan always ended the story the same way, with a soft smile and the words, the magic isn't in the boat. It is in believing that something so small can survive when the world says it can stay. When he finally returned home years later, the river was still there, flowing as it always had. He walked along its edge, the memories rushing back like waves. The air smelled of rain and the mango blossoms, just like that first evening so long ago. He sat down, pulled out a fresh page, folded it carefully, and for the first time in many years, whispered to the river again, thank you for listening. The paper boat floated gently, its reflection shimmering in the water. As it drifted away, he saw something glint inside, a faint shimmer, a tiny sparkle of golden ink. He laughed softly, shaking his head. Maybe it was the light, maybe it wasn't. Either way, he didn't need to read the message. He already knew what it would say. The sun dipped low, painting the river in hues of orange and gold. Ayaan stood and began to walk home, the wind brushing past him like an old friend. Behind him, The boat floated onward, catching the last rays of sunlight, until it became just a tiny speck, then disappeared into the horizon. And somewhere perhaps beyond the bend of the river or in the heart of Adim, that the child would find it perfectly dry, perfectly folded, carrying the same quiet message that had once changed a lonely boy as world. You already believe.